Hi everyone, I'm Dana Levenson and welcome to the Dales Report. Today we're in studio with Max Smith, CEO of OjO Electric. Hi Max, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, nice to be here.
This is very exciting that you are here and talking to us about OjO. We all are excited about the concept of OjO. So tell me how it started.
Sure. So OjO was actually began as a retail scooter. And so the founders were they're retired, they wanted a scooter that was accessible, they felt safe with, and so spent years designing and patenting a scooter that was sold through retail. So what's interesting, I met the founders, I found the scooter, loved it, fell in love immediately, hated the business model. But what they did was create a scooter that was ready to be sold internationally, went through CE, TÜV certifications for Europe, which essentially says all the lights, the brakes, the seat, everything was checked. So it's a toy. It's not a toy, it's a vehicle. So,
But it started off as a toy?
Pardon me. It was, the Bird launched this industry for electric rideshare with a toy scooter 2 years ago. At the time, we had a vehicle which was really meant for sustainability and safety. And so that was really what initiated the business and sort of creating a scooter that was sold into retail through Best Buy, through Amazon, and through our own digital online store.
So you were telling me a little bit earlier you have a catchphrase that describes OjO perfectly. Will you share that with me?
I didn't coin the phrase, but other media picked it up and said we're Tesla meets Vespa.
I think that's incredible.
So we love it, right? So
Yeah.
that's two fantastic companies, one representing clean, electric, sustainable transportation, and another a classic scooter. And sort of our design looks somewhat like a Vespa, and the electric mobility and sustainability, those mergings is really terrific.
So who do you think is the consumer for this? Who's buying into this?
Well, micromobility today, as it was really launched, is anyone who needs to get around in a city effectively for that short ride, so a mile or less. That was traditional micromobility. We're trying to solve a bigger problem, whereas 53% of all vehicle rides in a city are under 3 miles. So we're going after that space that's a little bit longer. So our average ride is about 2 miles, and every day we get people who are going 10, 15 miles in a city. So it's not only that millennial who's taking a kick scooter for a short ride. We're going after people who use it for commuting, who use it to do chores. There's a basket, there's a seat. You can pause your ride, go into the store, pick up some items, put them in the basket, and be on your way.
Very urban.
Yeah, so it's really trying to solve urban problems of congestion and sort of all those greenhouse gases that are emitted from cars. That's what we really look to displace.
And that's what we're seeing now, right? We're seeing that cities are expanding, growing rapidly beyond what everybody could expect and starting to exceed those expectations. So the infrastructure needs to change. So where do you see that in terms of alternate transportation? What's your vision on that?
Yeah, so we're grateful for the companies who have launched electric scooter rideshare. They're pioneers. But there are sort of unintended consequences that come with that, right? There's street litter, there's scooters parked all over the place, they're blocking sidewalks, they're blocking right of way, creating ADA problems, and there have been a lot of accidents. And so it's sort of an issue with safety. So we're taking a different solution, try to create order out of the chaos. And so our approach, our scooters in Memphis, for instance, that launches on Wednesday, the 23rd, 250 scooters in Memphis, Tennessee. You can only end one of those rides at a bike station. So we use geofencing technology that shows you through the app where to park the scooter, and that creates much more order rather than leaving them anywhere. Now, if you want to park someplace else, as long as you don't block a sidewalk, you can do so. But you might have a fee on it. So you can pay for that inconvenience because we have to go pick it up and move it and keep it clear of the right of way.
So before you tell me where we could find e-scooters or we can find OjO specifically right now, take me through a ride. What does it look like for the basic consumer?
Sure.
What does it look like?
So you download the app, open up the app wherever you are, and you're going to see scooters all over the city on where they are related to your proximity. So you could find a scooter very easily through the app. And then you just scan a QR code, hit start ride, and you're on your way. You want to end your ride, park it responsibly on the sidewalk, away from right of way, not blocking any ramps, and hit end ride, and that's it.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
And so where do we see OjO products now?
We launched first in Austin, Texas. We're in Dallas, Texas.
Already now, you're in Dallas now?
Yeah, we operate in Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, and Memphis, Tennessee on Wednesday. We're in discussions with many other cities throughout the U.S. and have a lot of interest from partners outside of the U.S. and Europe and in South America.
Why specifically those cities? Why those? Why?
You know, it's interesting. So Austin is a very busy city. It's a young city, very tech-centric, tech-savvy, and there are a ton of scooters, probably too many electric scooters there.
Really?
Yeah, and so our strategy was, I want to go into one of the busiest cities, have no marketing, no app downloads, put them in the market right before South by Southwest and see what happens. During that period of time, we had more rides per vehicle than the competition. Our rides were over twice the distance as anyone else. And the engagement, the amount of time spent on our vehicles versus the kick scooters was about 3 times the amount. And so we proved to ourselves with no marketing, no app downloads, that there was a market, it was viable, that people would engage in the product and see it as a differentiated experience. And I said, if we can do it that way, then we can expand. And so that's why we started there.
And so the reason why I ask that is because one would just assume that you would have an electric scooter in a city like New York.
Yeah.
Right? So do you have a vision of New York, or is the infrastructure just not there?
We 100% have a vision of New York. New York is a massive marketplace. We participated in a pilot in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is in New York's shadow, and that proved to be an incredible marketplace. So Hoboken is about the 4th most densely populated city in the country.
Really?
And so those areas that have great density, a lot of cars, a lot of traffic, this is an incredible, viable means of transportation, that it actually gets people there safer and less time, and it provides a sustainable model. New York, it's sitting on the governor's desk. So we're waiting for Cuomo to sign a bill to enable that, and I suspect that'll come soon, and it'll start in the outer boroughs. So likely Brooklyn or Queens, one of those boroughs, and I'm a Brooklyn guy, so I'm vying for that. So.
And what's the learning curve? You get onto the scooter, and is there a part of the app teaches you how to ride the scooter, drive the scooter? How do you?
That's a great question. It's really important to educate people and educate riders. And so when we launch a city, we'll have ambassadors out explaining how to ride, showing demonstrations, and explaining some of the features. And so you can't just put these in the wild and let people go out.
Right.
However, there are many who will find it. It's sort of very low marketing costs or direct acquisition customer acquisition costs. You see a QR code, most people know what a QR code is these days. You put your phone on it and then you get the app, you download it. Within that app process, as you download, you're going through instructional videos. You can't ride a scooter until you've checked all these boxes. I will wear a helmet, I will obey local safety laws, I will park responsibly. So we tell them how to ride. We have signs and stickers on the scooter that shows demonstrations about how to ride. And so you always have to communicate that way.
So it's safe, but it also looks fun. I was watching it online and I thought, this looks like fun to me, almost too much fun. And I think in a way people would look at this and say that this is going to get me from point A to point B in a responsible, environmentally responsible way. And now I have an alternative form of transportation, but I'm also enjoying my ride. And that is a huge part of when you live in a big city, and riding and commuting is not fun.
Right, it's not, and it is fun, and so it's very engaging. We have Bluetooth speakers, so you're connecting your phone, you're playing music, you're enjoying yourself.
Wow,
it's a fun experience. Now, those speakers are really critical for safety, audible safety alerts. And so we have geofencing technology. We sit down with a city official and we say, this is your city, not ours. We wouldn't substitute our judgment for yours. You tell us where to ride, how do we ride, what's a restricted zone. So they're going to tell us this road is 10 miles per hour. On University, it's 8 miles per hour. Along the waterfront, it's 15 miles per hour. We make those changes in the back end and push those out. While you're riding, the speakers will announce to you, you've just entered a slow ride zone, maximum scooter speed is 14 miles per hour, and the scooter automatically slows down.
So you have control, but there is a brain behind the brain of it.
We're always communicating with the rider to let them know that there's a change in speed or you're in a restricted zone. So many scooter companies have geofencing technology. It's actually a sort of a least common denominator. You need to be able to have that flexibility to work with the city. But we're the only company that I'm aware of that can actually communicate to the rider, let them know you're now in a restricted zone. Your speed is being changed. Now your speed is back to 20 miles per hour. So that's sort of an example of how we engage with the rider and also how we work with the cities to make sure that it's per their needs.
Yeah, then that's a comfort. That's a comfort thing too, right? It's that extra safety that's already embedded into the technology. That's wonderful. So your RTO is this week. That's exciting.
It's tomorrow. We're thrilled to be opening the market tomorrow and begin trading as a public company.
And so there are 2 unicorn billion-dollar companies already out there.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about how you're going to scratch the surface on this. Tell me a little bit about the market for you.
Yeah, so Bird and Lime, again, they started a couple years ago. They've raised a significant amount of capital. They've gone to sort of this split scaling model of being in many, many cities, over 100 cities on a global basis. And we've taken a different approach. And so we're where they were 2 years ago, but have all of this upside for growth. We see that people really engage with our product. It's a seated product. It offers a lot of safety. It offers a lot of fun, and we think there's much upside. And so we're going to grow responsibly and not try to be in 100 markets all at once. We want to work with the city, expand with the city, do it over time. But now we're getting a lot of inbound interest, and so the RTO timing is really critical for us. So now we have the capital and the platform where we can continue to grow. Now we're also seeing opportunities for other services. We move not only people around the city, we're delivering food. And so the food delivery business, you can't do that on a stand-up kick scooter. Actually, I've seen it done. It doesn't work out too well. So we've got a major food delivery company that is using us on a pilot basis, and they find that it's significantly more efficient for their delivery people to make these deliveries, and they're also finding better retention. So back to that fun factor, they're making more deliveries, getting more tips, and they're actually enjoying themselves. And so I think that's going to be a really big growth market for us as well.
It was very exciting speaking with you as well. Thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
So we have Max Smith here. This is the Dales Report. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Thanks, Max.
Thank you.